Oh, good day. Good day and gratitude to you. I really hated splitting up this chapter yesterday. Oh, good day and gratitude to you too, both of you. We can get started now. Thank you so much. And we all know I am Face the Nation. We own Bolden Unchained, and we are here to assist Black America with everything. With everything. Give Black America a little forgiveness, all meaning all. All our forgiveness, our love, our patience, our integrity. Be honest and sincere to us, even when no one's looking. That's why we're here. That's why I'm here, to give us a change that we need, as far as I can see, in my opinion, what's missing with us. We got a lot of knowledge that we're missing, that was withheld from us. We were misled away from it. So much. We look at through a spiritual lens because I'm not religious, y'all. I don't want anyone coming here thinking that I'm religious, because I'm not. I am not religious. I don't forgive anything in any of our Black books, Black Bibles. These are our Bibles. Yep, it's a new concept to me, and it fits. It resonates with me. You got your white Bible? We went over that last night. It was in our reading last night about the Bible. King James was in this book, and it just so happens that I stumbled across some information in a couple of months ago, maybe 7 or 8 months ago, I guess, maybe 5 or 6 months ago, about the Bible being written by multiple authors, which we may have known that. However, King James VI of Scotland was later reclassified as King James I of England in 1597. And this is the same King James who commissioned the King James Version of the Bible. He didn't write it, but he authorized it. And also, he's the author of the book Demonology. Demonology. The two books, the same man. We got a lot of knowledge to do. When he authorized it and they misinterpreted it or interpreted it to their liking, oh, baby, red seed is growing over there. Then it threw us off. It took us away from the true teachings of the Bible. And because of the trauma and the torture that we've suffered, we haven't been able to see beyond the lines. We haven't been able to read between the lines. It is so much to it and stuff. So that's what we had learned about that yesterday. However, I don't want to get off track and stuff. Copyright disclaimer. Oh, yeah, we look through a spiritual lens of loyalty, resilience, and education, because we need to know who we're loyal to. We must know. We got to learn. That's what all this learning is about. Everybody on every station, every platform, every channel you turn on is giving us some part of the information to connect all of these dots. I know mine do. Everybody that I click on is giving me some type of new information, new knowledge that I can use to better my life and my situation here on earth and after earth, the afterlife. Now we got to incorporate our afterlife differently than we have been. We all been thinking and focused and working on getting to heaven. Heaven is not the only destination, especially for us, Black Americans. There's a whole lot we learning here. And I hope you're getting some of it. Wherever you're supposed to be at, To get that knowledge, that's where you're supposed to be at. You're not supposed to linger somewhere that's really not serving its purpose. So you can be on time. You got to be in alignment. I do too. We got to be in alignment with Mother Nature, Mother Gaia, the planet, and with cosmic energy. All the ethers up there. We got to be in alignment with it, or we're going to get left behind. You're going to get left behind. So yeah, we looking through a spiritual lens right here, y'all. I don't forgive nothing. I love to cuss. If you hate to hear cussing, you definitely don't want to be here. Now, I don't like the vulgar cussing unless I really go there. But I like to cuss. I do. I find some release in cussing. It relieves me. It gives me a release. I didn't recognize it at first, but now I do. And I welcome it. I welcome it. I'd rather cuss you than curse you, Black America. You are the reflection of me. And I try to remember that. We need to remember that. And I think that's about it right there. Copyright disclaimer 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news report, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. No profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Yep, let's go on and read. Mm-hmm. We are POWERNOMICS. We're in the middle of chapter 6. I didn't want to cut it short, but I had to get on out of here yesterday and stuff and do what I needed to do. But we learned some wonderful things. We learned about the BBIC, Black Business Investment Corporation. We are learning about the stock market, how it pertains to us. Now, keep in mind, this book is 20 years late for our reading, for my reading. There is a website, POWERNOMICS.com. I have yet to go there, but I want to go there and stuff. I especially want to find out where we are as pertaining to this book right now, today, in reality. How are we using it to build us? How are we using to catch up with our people that are using and following and building, literally creating our new reality with this book right here? So we read so much yesterday, but today I thought we would start at vertically integrated leather industry, because we read just about everything, the criteria for developing key industries, industrial models for Black America. We learned about Wall Street and the stock market, capitalizing startup industries. We learned so much technology and the case for industrialization, why we need these things, why we have to go this route. We must go our own route, our own way. Infiltrating and allies and other folks' input and direction and advice and stuff, we're not looking for that. We're not looking for that. Dr. Claud was specific in this book when he said no infiltrations, no infiltrators. Your friends, your spouse and stuff, they can help you on the back end, let you know their thoughts and what they think about it, give you some money, give you some land, give you some tangibles. But other than that, no, we don't want their input and stuff. And their advice, I think you should just, use discernment with before you bring it to us about this right here. Vertically integrated leather industry. He gave 4 industries: leather production, urban hydroponic farming, bottled water operations, and the sports industry. I've been kind of using like the hair care industry and daycare for my little, as I'm learning and I'm envisioning the vertical integration that we will have and building our empires from the bottom up. So those are the industries I was using. But however, let's read. Vertically integrated leather industry strategy is to build on groups' spending patterns. Whites abandoned the leather tanning industry over the course of the last century for a number of reasons. 3 primary reasons were tough environmental standards for the tanning process, the introduction of synthetic leather, and competition from third world countries. The leather industry itself has numerous competitive advantages that make it prime for Black people to develop as a POWERNOMICS industry. Figure 16 shows the various operating and business levels of the leather industry. The major competitive advantages of Black Americans have in the leather industry are: Blacks purchase a disproportionate share of the nation's leather goods and apparel. The leather industry lends itself to vertical integration. Black consumers are inclined to purchase based on brand loyalty. Manufacturing plants in urban inner cities could have access to a ready labor pool. Major producers abandoned the industry, leaving it wide open for strong competition. Leather producers are a long way from America, which is the biggest leather consuming market. For a tannery, Haiti, a black country, has favorable environmental laws, wage scale, and close proximity to America. North and South America are major producers of animal hides. Economic development incentives are available via various government programs. So we know we buy a lot of the nation's leather, the goods and the apparel. The leather industry lends itself to vertical integration. So it's open, it's an option. Black consumers are inclined to purchase based on brand loyalty. These brands that we see as we've made them household names. It's time to look at them. It's time to look at them. We need new brands that are ours, for us, by us, that we can make household names, in my opinion. Manufacturing plants in urban inner cities could have access to a ready labor pool. To put that manufacturing plant there, as soon as they come off the shelf, as soon as they come off that flow, like them cars doing stuff, there should be a couple of stores in the various surrounding neighborhoods, communities for the products. Not to mention those that's being sent off to other communities. Leather producers are a long way from America, which is the biggest leather consuming market. The biggest leather consuming market is here in America. However, he's saying that the leather producers are a long way from here. They ain't even in America, it seems. For a tannery, Haiti, the black country, has favorable environmental wages, laws, wage scale, and its close proximity to America. North and South America are major producers of animal hides. Economic development incentives are available via various government programs. So you can get into them programs if we 20 years late, they haven't been gutted or dismantled by the Trump administration. All levels of government, federal, state, and local, must play non-traditional roles to help Black Americans industrialize and establish a competitive leather industry. All levels of government, the federal, the state, and the local government, must play non-traditional roles to help Black Americans industrialize and establish a competitive leather industry. Blacks should aggressively demand that the payment use its capital and its program resources and its legislative powers to intervene into the marketplace and create favorable conditions for establishing this Black industry. The book, Black Labor, White Wealth, provides government officials, economists, and others legal arguments to provide special assistance to Black people. I think I got Black Labor, White Wealth. I'm going to look for it. Black America should demand from government the same resources and trade protections provided to many other groups and industries. Most of the world's leather goods come from Asian countries that provide a variety of government assistance for manufacturers. For instance, Japan protects its leather industry by erecting trade barriers against cheaper imports. Thus, Japanese consumers are forced to purchase domestically produced leather goods. What should be of interest to Black Americans is not just the Japanese trade barriers, but who the trade barriers protect. The trade barriers protect the leather industry and the jobs of its workers, who belong to the ETA, a socially despised, excluded, and vulnerable minority group. The Japanese ETA are equivalent to Black people in America. The ETA are systematically excluded from certain jobs, and they are considered unworthy marriage partners. The same type of government programs and trade barriers that help the leather goods producing ETA in Japan, it should be established for Black people, who are America's despised and excluded people. Ooh, and look at this vertical integrated leather manufacturing diagram that he got right there. Mhm. Oh man, let me show this one more time. Look at that. Dr. Claud didn't leave us no stones unturned. Natural resource / water related industries. Ooh. The next two industries relate to using water because it is a vitally important natural resource that is going to grow increasingly scarce. Black urban communities are the core geographical hubs of cities all across America. Since nearly every concentration of Blacks is situated near large bodies of water, and because Black people live in urban areas in which there are public water plants that are or should be under their political control, then both the competitive advantages and potential industries should be easy to see. However, as a word of warning, there is no assurance that these opportunities will exist very much longer. And we're 20 years late, so let's just keep that in mind. Using the concepts of regionalization, municipal sharing, and privatization that we discussed earlier, the majority society is aggressively wresting control of these resources and competitive advantages away from urban Black communities. If Black people do not use the resources that they control to exploit their competitive advantage, rest assured, y'all, that competing groups will capture and control these resources and use them to their advantage. Urban hydroponic farming. The strategy is to build farmers markets within inner cities. Convert abandoned buildings into automatic hydroponic gardens. Convert abandoned buildings into automatic hydroponic gardens. Some of these buildings in our cities and stuff should be donated specifically to Black people for this reason here, in my opinion. Form farming cooperatives and farmer markets on unused sites. Organize regional warehouses and wholesale distributors. Market products through a national network of retail outlets. Hydroponic organic farming within inner city communities is about survival at one level and creating wealth and building business opportunities at another level. Producing one's own food is empowerment. Hydroponic farming is a water-based industry that can produce high-quality foodstuffs that can make inner city Black communities self-sufficient. I was just looking at a sister, and she got her hydroponic system going. Let me see. There she is right there. The kindergartner. The kindergartner. That was one of her videos I was looking at, but she's got her hydroponic system of watering all of her garden with it's a little device they got. You can order now, and it'll automatically, when you turn it on, you can drip the water, you can spray the water, but it'll go to each and every one of your fruits and your vegetables, your plants, whether it's in a container or bucket or it's in the ground. Hydroponic farming is a water-based industry that can produce high-quality foodstuffs that can make inner city Black communities self-sufficient. It addresses the absence of high-quality, reasonably priced foods, the scarcity of chain supermarkets, and the oversupply of rip-off stores that sell low-quality food at astronomical prices in inner cities. Because everybody is talking about in the past, when I used to be out in the communities and stuff, everybody's talking about homes and stuff. Why not use some of these buildings that I never seen turn to fruition? And I know it takes time and stuff. It takes years, even decades, I guess, especially when you're working alone and stuff. But why not take some of these buildings for other aspects of necessities that we need? Like he just gave the hydroponic gardening inside of one of these establishments. Knock down all the walls in the motherfucker. You only need a little small kitchen and a bathroom for whoever's there. You're gonna have workers that's working on the inside and the outside to keep the hydroponic system going. inside the building and stuff. You can also use the outside of the building for further space to utilize. I never thought about it till I just read it here. But let's read. Hydroponic farming in inner cities can capitalize on a number of competitive advantages that Black America has for water-based industries. Nearly every urban Black community borders on large bodies of water or has water plants. White flight, in response to the Black Civil Rights Movement, left prime industrial properties and buildings abandoned that can now be used to do hydroponic farming. These cities are located on some of America's best real estate with nearby public infrastructure. The abandoned buildings we usually perceive as eyesores are eventually demolished, destroying both their financial and their cultural values. But they have other uses. If we look at them through the paradigm of ethno-aggregation, hydroponic farms could be built in large abandoned factories, warehouses, and school buildings after they are gutted and cleaned. Once you knock them walls down, have your way with it. Have your way with it. You can even have a little small section of your kitchen right there where you are actually drying out your herbs and stuff. And you got some people that's working for you, you don't hire them, they can immediately, on site, all this ginger I done harvested here, your workers over there can grind that ginger up. Start putting it in them little bitty glass bottles. You can sell it right out of there. Sell it right out. You got people that's selling as you growing. You got people that's boxing and bagging it up. Some people over there getting ready to mail it out, ship it out to certain communities, schools, homeless shelters and stuff in the communities. I mean, there's no reason why. There are many such abandoned properties in cities with large Black majority populations, such as New York, Detroit, Newark, Buffalo, Philadelphia, Cleveland, and Los Angeles. In some cities, under various economic development initiatives, could provide funds to assist with building acquisitions and renovations, as well as installation of water tanks, electricity, and the acquisition of supplies and operating overhead. Black-owned hydroponic farming could bring to the inner city a growing trend toward organic and natural food. Blacks could raise fresh organic food to meet some of the basic needs of our own communities, while surplus foods could be packaged and distributed to surrounding communities. Hydroponic and organic produce sell for 3 times the cost of industrial farm-grown products. Unlike hydroponic farms, though, industrial farm products are often of questionable quality and health value because you don't know what's being put in it. It's an industry. They come in with the big machinery and stuff, and you don't know what pesticides and chemicals they putting in. That's in my opinion. Their products are usually picked unripe and chemically treated, then shipped long distances to markets. There is also the issue that nearly 75% of all Black Americans live in and around 15 large urban areas where grocery stores have less than a 2-week food supply, which could be shut off accidentally or intentionally. Following the Civil War, 55% of America's farmers were Black. 55% of America's farmers were Black. Today, less than 1%. And this 20 years ago. I have to do some research. We'll have to do some research to see what it is today. Consequently, Black America is nearly totally dependent upon non-Black people for the quality and the quantity of our daily bread. Inner city farmers markets. Produce from the hydroponic facilities or any other farming source can be sold to individuals or food cooperatives. Abandoned schools or factories could be converted into marketplaces. The bulk of the organically raised aqua products can be earmarked for regular chain and independent grocery stores or institutions. Black communities should reestablish the old farmers markets that were once available in every single large city. Although most of them were raised in the early 1950s, some of them still exist. Detroit has the Eastern Market, and Baltimore has the Lexington Market. Blacks are the major consumers at these markets, but the shops and the food stalls are owned and operated by ethnics who have passed ownership down through several generations. As the majority consumer and on a new mission, Black people have the capability of changing the game. They can either buy the owners out or open their own vegetable farmers markets around the hydroponic industry. The produce can also be distributed in open air markets set up on school playgrounds, parks, and other community locations. At the bottom line, the hydroponic gardening facilities would provide fresh, healthy, competitively priced food as well as business and employment opportunities within urban communities. Basic needs for this industry would be land, large abandoned buildings, water, electricity, equipment, water tables, knowledge of hydroponics, and access to millions of interested Black customers. Ooh, it's a win-win. It's a win-win. Oh, I say. Vertically integrated bottled water industry. The strategy is to build businesses around dwindling necessary resources. Select majority urban cities with water plants and reservoirs. Select majority urban cities with water plants and reservoirs. The second one, acquire production plants and equipment for water purification and processing. Acquire technical expertise. Acquire container suppliers. Establish retail commercial office space for the business part. Acquire fleet of vehicles and establish home delivery services and food markets so that those of our masses that can't get to us, we can deliver it to them. We'll be able to deliver it to them. Ooh, Dr. Claud is so brilliant. An article in the Washington Post on July 17, 2000 summarized the findings of a number of scientists and made the case for the viability. Let me make sure I said that right. And made the case for the viability of this potential Black industry. The article said, one of the most severe crises certain to confront Homo sapiens in the coming decades would be the availability of fresh water. In recent years, various weather systems, droughts, and coastal hurricanes have demonstrated the vulnerability of our water supply systems and increased public demands, especially during emergencies. The growing demands and scarcity of drinking water makes it an excellent potential business for Black Americans. During the 1990s, the nation and the world suffered unusual water shortages. These shortages will surely worsen as a result of pollution, changing weather conditions, and overpopulation. Nearly half of the world's population lives under severe water stress conditions. Reportedly, the available drinking water in the world will decrease by 25% within the next 2 decades. 20 years. We're 20 years behind. Yep. Available drinking water will decrease by 25%. Drinking water shortages will eventually come to America, and when they do, the price of drinking water will increase dramatically, y'all. In Washington, D.C., residents have been advised using the past few years to not drink tap water. During the summer of 1999, both Virginia and Maryland imposed water restrictions due to drought. In North Carolina, drinking water was contaminated by a hurricane. Whether it is for pure survival or for a profitable business opportunity, there are other competitive advantages that Black Americans can have if we develop a vertically controlled bottled water industry. As stated earlier, to our advantage, we have highly concentrated Black populations near water systems and large bodies of water. Blacks also are the dominant public office holders in the 15 key cities. The hell, is they any damn good? The industry has low capital and equipment requirements and few regulatory requirements. Finally, Black consumers could control this market with quality and brand loyalty. What is needed to start a bottled water business? Some of the equipment requirements for a medium-sized plant include automated distilling and filling equipment, plastic containers, delivery trucks, and access to a public water source. Regular public water can be steamed or distilled. The steamed or boiled water is then condensed, collected, bottled, and sold as distilled water. This industry can be divided into several levels. Distilled water can be marketed to grocery stores, commercial offices, airlines, and home delivery companies. In the United States, a record 2.7 billion gallons of bottled water were consumed in 1995. Everybody, from street peddlers to airlines and hotels, now sell and serve bottled water. In many restaurants, water is served to consumers only upon request, and many patrons ask for bottled water only. All levels of the bottled water industry business, all levels of the bottled water business can be owned separately or as a vertically integrated industry. And last, vertically integrated sports industry strategy build on racial and cultural niches. As stated earlier, though Black people have long dominated certain sports, we have yet to establish and dominate the ownership of sports-related businesses. The sports industry offers at least 6 levels of business opportunities. 6 levels. Let me see. In my uneducated mind, there would be your sportswear, your equipment, your shoes. Well, let's read and see what the rest of them are. If that's some of them. Because sports have always been a viable way for a Black person to gain financial success, it is an ideal base upon which to build a vertically integrated order of Black businesses. This industry allows Black people to combine 2 POWERNOMICS principles. First, dominating business wherever we dominate in consumer population or where we control the raw materials. We don't control the raw nothing of nothing, but we do dominate in consumer populations. So we can dominate in them businesses, like your hair care industry. We dominate in the hair care. Like I said, who else need bergamot hair grease? We can dominate that. Second, create an alternative economy within Black communities. Regarding controlling the raw materials in sports, be mindful that though Black people make up approximately 80% of the basketball players, 75% of the boxers, 50% of the football players, and 48% of the baseball players, the really big money does not go to the ones running or playing with the ball. The big money goes to those who own the industry's raw materials, the owners of the teams, the stadiums, and the professional services, those who manufacture the balls, the uniforms, and the equipment. They also do well financially. Yeah, I forgot about the owners and the builders and the professional services and stuff like that. Over a half century ago, Black fans were proud of the accomplishments of Jesse Owens, Joe Louis, and Jackie Robinson. How did the successes of the athletes translate to financial opportunities for Black people? The success of Tiger Woods will influence thousands of Black people to play golf. Why not own golf courses or manufacture golf clubs and other related equipment businesses? The Williams sisters' successes are inspiring more Black people to play tennis. But why not own and control tennis-related businesses? The same could be said for basketball success like Michael Jordan. The very same companies that manufacture the basketballs, tennis balls, and golf balls and own sports teams and stadiums will continue to own everything long after our Black sports heroes are just names in record books. Think of the socioeconomic benefits for the Black athletes and for the race. If the athletes would negotiate for greater Black business opportunities within the sports industry in addition to their personal contracts, they could leverage their celebrity status to demand that Black businesses be involved at every level of the industry. In building a Black alternative economy within Black communities, Black athletes, they asses, could negotiate for a Black percentage of ownership in the teams, the stadiums, concession contracts, equipment, and uniform purchases, and the marketing and promotional budgets. Why can't Black athletes leverage their presence in the various sports to create business opportunities for Black people in management, insurance coverage, players' pension programs, banking, accounting, legal services, and stock sales? The professional sports industry could be vertically integrated just as it was just as it once was before integration. This will be a new behavior for Black sports figures, and it will have a greater chance of success if they decided to act as a group to champion Black involvement in business at every level of the sports industry. It's a win-win. Additional industries. Below are additional industries in which Black Americans can have competitive advantages based upon POWERNOMICS principles. Again, as in the industry suggested above, only highlights can be offered in this book. They are presented here in abbreviated form as food for thought. So we can start thinking, get the wheels turning. Telecommunications and mass media. Strategy: to use Black experts to establish a national daily newspaper, a television and radio network, and a film distributorship. Telecommunications and mass media. These are additional industries now that we can capitalize on. In order to achieve the POWERNOMICS vision of a Black America that is self-sufficient and competitive, we must have a national means to communicate, to inform, and to disseminate images of ourselves. Mass media and all other areas of telecommunications could be a base for vertically integrated industries. We call on the few Black telecommunications owners and the greater number of professionals in the field to adopt the POWERNOMICS vision as their own and apply their skills to develop these industries. We also, few Black telecommunications owners, I don't know if we have any. Possibly one, maybe two. We also call on them to take the lead in guiding other Blacks to identify and develop more specific action steps. Blacks from this highly skilled group should be encouraged and supported to become entrepreneurs and special advocates who guide the government to develop policies that increase Black ownership. Current owners and employees in telecommunications and media have the knowledge and the understanding to help government and corporations correct the historical inequities that are now built into ownership. I can't say I know anybody up there, but I know somebody that's into filming and stuff like that. That probably people like that that's into filming, and they always got their camera with them. They always got their equipment with them and stuff to preserve history. But however, it can't be no infiltration building this, constructing this. And the people that come to my mind are very much a part of are the systems of white supremacy and racism. So yeah, I'm just gonna have to see what our Black minds, who they produce for this and stuff, because yeah, it's got to be group self-interest right here. So the action steps below should provide beginning points to Black people interested in building industries and telecommunications. That's unfortunate too. In the area of government, Blacks can focus efforts to change the flawed foundation policies that equate Black people to other minorities. We have made the case for corrective treatment of Blacks. Public policy should spell out the case for other groups generally included in the minority category. The justification is not the same as the case for Blacks. We should seek government breakup of the racial monopolies that are established and protected by government and function under government operational authority, such as broadcasting and telephone services. The entities that result from the breakup should be redistributed to correct the historical exclusion of Black from ownership. Didn't I just hear that they canceled the PBS, public broadcasting system? Blacks should seek to own local telephone systems that serve predominantly Black neighborhoods, and Black cities. This step would take creative arrangements with current local service providers, favorable regulatory policies, or the purchase of local exchanges. Blacks can establish a massive Black national news and talk show network that offers Blacks programming, information, and a means of communicating. It would also provide a means to build images that we choose and spread information about and for us. Like we just had this recent brawl in Cincinnati where the white man hurling racial slurs and stuff and slapped the vulnerable Black man. And then Black people beat their motherfucking asses. And then the white man from Cincinnati, Shane Michael Hanna, I think that's his name. He decided, he made a post. He decided that him and some of his brethren, they're gonna kill 30,000 Black people because of that. If we had our own communication system, we could put out that narrative that we needed the truth to be heard. We could have put out that narrative. The same as with Carmelo and all of our unfortunate situations and missings and murders and alerts, the good, the bad, the ugly, the savage, and the ravishing. We would be able to put ours out too. Yeah, I know what they saying, the other news media stations and stuff. But this is what we saying. We need the truth. See, they take us through, in my opinion, they take us through so many narratives before we actually get the truth. And by the time we get the truth on one, like the twins, the Lewis twins that were found up on the mountain, said that they killed themselves, said they shot themselves. Two twins, brothers, loved each other to life, said that they shot each other and then shot itself. One twin shot the other twin and then shot itself. Before we find out the truth of what happened, we've had so many narratives. They take us through this with every situation. It always begins with suicide. Then when it changed from suicide to a foul play, we looked at, instead of white people looked at, we looked at our open enemy. Matter of fact, is the last one to be looked at when it comes to us. So if we had our own telecommunication system, we would be able to correct a lot of that. It wouldn't take so long for us to get a hold of the truth, and we can proceed with the matter at hand and stuff. Because now, by the time we find out the truth of things, we got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 other cases with questions that need to be answered. I'm just saying, in my opinion. Blacks can establish a massive national news. That's what we just, yeah. Oh, and then it'll also provide a means to build images that we choose. We'll be able to be the ones to decide. When you turn on that channel, your baby will wake up in the morning seeing Black people. And it won't be the narrative of what we doing like on the 6 o'clock news. Dick Gregory said you can turn on the 6 o'clock news any day of the week. I think it was Dick Gregory. And what do you see? Us in our less favorable light. Us losing our motherfucking mind. Ain't got no integrity, no respect. That's what they show on the news and stuff. But if we had our own telecommunications, then we'll be able to show the true us. Hell, if that's the case, shit, then show white folks motherfucking asses at 6 o'clock. Show them in their worst light. Other groups of people in their worst lights. Why put us out like we just the worst of the worst without the knowledge of how we even became like this? How did we even become like this? In my opinion, Black weekly newspapers can combine to produce a national daily Black newspaper. We need a daily Black newspaper, y'all. In addition to expanding the information base for Black America, this shift can offer operational options to many of the weeklies that are struggling. In the area of print media, we can also develop a national book distribution system and a chain of bookstores. Woo-wee! This could consolidate publishing industry entities and provide economies of scale as an option for the numerous Black-owned bookstores that are not profitable but are important institutions in their neighborhood. Just to have, I was telling you about the bookstores that were targeted. We had hundreds of bookstores, black bookstores. However, they were targeted by the FBI COINTELPRO. And then we ended up with like 50 bookstores, but I think we've had an increase again. I did come up with, I wrote down some, maybe I'll find them in tonight. We'll just go through them and stuff. Because I think, like we mentioned, I think Dr. Claud mentioned it in this book, how, you can go adopt a highway. We need to why not adopt a black school. I got 2 schools too. Their brother was talking about what's it? I think it was a runaway slave. It was one of the brothers, and he gave off 2 schools, and I wrote them down. And when I find them and stuff, because we can donate to these schools, adopt these schools. That way we'll be able to help them on a monthly or a yearly scale, however you want to. If you can't send them but $500 a year. Maybe you want to send it at one time. Maybe you want to send it monthly. Break it down and send it to them monthly and stuff. But I also think we should be adopting schools, they even got it where you can adopt a star. You can adopt a star. Your ass don't know if it's going to burn out tonight or tomorrow night, but you can adopt a star. And so we can adopt libraries, black libraries. We can adopt them, donate to them that way every month. Like we're paying our bills and stuff that we shouldn't have to pay for, like water and lights and stuff, but we do. Our black libraries, our black schools, black hospitals. Adopt a black hospital if we still have, because we read about in this book right here where also a lot of our black businesses merged with white businesses, and white businesses just took the whole thing, took the equipment, took the curriculum, the land, the building, the name, took everything and merged it into white businesses. But if they still are active, if we still have any, we need to get on the business and start making them a priority. Yeah, we do. Myself included. The music and entertainment industry. The strategy is build businesses around racial and cultural niches. Vertical businesses can be built wherever a group has access to the raw resources that are the staples of the industry. In vertical integration, whoever controls the raw resources and markets will reap the profits. They can leverage their position to control middlemen and other support businesses such as distributors, promoters, marketeers, and manufacturers of tangible properties. Music entertainment represents another industry that lends itself to vertical integration. Already off the top, you can think of some things with music. The music created by people of African descent is the foundation of this nation's popular music, as well as the music of Latin America and the Caribbean islands. Black music in its various forms is a $100 billion industry. Black music is a $100 billion industry. I would say today it would be a little bit more. I would say it would be a little bit less, but people, especially our people, being misled and lost, are gravitating to this music out here that really ain't even no good. Buying it, listening to it, promoting it and stuff, and it really ain't no good. So I would say we had a slight increase in this in the music industry rather than a decrease in the music industry. The mere fact that the raw music products have always radiated out of Black culture, Black churches, Black communities, and Black people themselves makes a vertically integrated music industry an option if Blacks make a commitment to it by recapturing our musical heritage. See, not this new music right here. This new music right here, just because it's out there, it still got to be changed. That mumble rap, trap rap, whatever they call it, I don't even listen to it. I don't know what y'all call it today, but the bullshit. Just get ahead of it. Go back to our music, our good feel music, that loving music, that message music. And just, drown all that bullshit out. Because see, at a time like now, where people are resonating, even if they don't know, you don't even know why your ass sitting over there listening to me stumble and stutter through POWERNOMICS every day. You don't even know why, but something is resonating inside of you that's causing you to, hey, maybe it's something else to this. Maybe it's something to this. Either this or your ass is like Kathy Quay, just sitting over there ready to raise hell. But I'm just saying, the music is a key that we can utilize for us. That's the only reason white people took our music and twisted it up. They even use our music, our rap music, in like prisons, like Guantanamo Bay and them other prisons that they had and stuff. They would use our rap music to torture inmates. Yep. So when you listening to it and your son wake up, go to sleep with all that head banging nonsense, cussing, just disrespecting your ass, cursing you. I might cuss you, but I try not to curse you. All of that right there ain't doing nothing but torturing your mentality. Like it tortures them prisoners, them inmates, is torturing your mentality. We gotta start drawing boundaries to it. You ain't allowed to play that song no more. You can't play that in here no more. I don't want to listen to it. I don't want to go outside and sit on the porch, go in the backyard under the tree if you must. Yep. Put your headphones on. You the only one that's finna be drag raggedy listening to that bullshit in here from now on. We got to start setting some boundaries. The mere fact that the raw music products have always radiated out of Black culture because we created music. But we got to make a commitment to it. We got to make a commitment to it. Yeah, everybody can manipulate your music now. Everybody else manipulating your music now. But they not you. They're not you. By capturing our musical heritage, we will be in a position to commercialize our cultural assets to build wealth, income, employment, and business opportunities within our communities. We could re-identify with the primary source of our musical inspiration, the Black church. Well, you better find the right Black church. In Black churches, aspiring Black singers and musicians are given a venue for their musical gifts. Again, the church and communities could become breeding grounds for Black musical talent. Make sure it's the right church. I'm just saying. Some churches will waste your time. You go to them big like TD Church. Them churches ain't interested in building nothing for Black America off of our music. You're going to have to go to maybe Dr. Ray Hagen's church. Pastor Stephen Darby. Fly high, my brother. His churches like that understand, they overstand, they willing, they acceptable, they approve of these new means that we got to take, these new means of action that we got to take. And they want to be part of the solution. I'm just saying, vertical integration will begin at the raw material level, the churches, then extend upward to talent agencies, recording studios, distribution networks, and finally to a national chain of retail outlets. By establishing our own production, distribution, and retailing economy, we could avoid the economic forces that currently dictate what Black music can be produced and marketed. And you see now they ain't doing nothing but producing and marketing bullshit. But see, if we had this control, then we would be able to dictate, to say, to demand what's being produced and marketed. Most importantly, we could avoid having our musical talent expropriated by white people who copy Black artists, who rename our music, who place it in their halls of fame and claim that Black music belongs to the world. During the past several centuries, nearly all forms of Black music were captured and exploited by the majority society, white people. White people have assimilated folk music, Dixieland, blues, jazz, and they're working on gospel. Some far-sighted Black people have begun to move to control more of the processes in producing Black music. Where there are efforts underway, we should encourage and support them. Where there are not, we should encourage those who can try. Yeah, so where there are efforts underway across the board, we should encourage and support them. Goes back to the demand for reparations. It's already underway, been underway, been fought for and demanded. There's no reason why we shouldn't support it just because your ass don't want your check. That's dumb as fuck. You know your ass got sisters, cousins, nieces, nephews, great grandchildren, grandbabies that need that check just because you don't. You can look out for you because you're a political figure or what have you. You can look out for you and your immediate family, but what are you doing for the rest of your family? Your mama's children, your great grandmama's children, them, your immediate family, your family. I ain't seen my cousin in 25 years. I love her though. What are you doing for them? You gonna go against reparations. So you taking care of all your family, your cousins, your second cousins, your auntie, your great auntie. You taking care of everybody. But your ass got the nerve to say, nah, I don't agree with reparations for black people. You fucking sellout. I'm just saying in my opinion. Wherever there are efforts underway, we got to encourage and support them. Opportunities through strategic alliances. The strategy is building businesses within safe harbors by contracting with an established company. It is not always necessary for black people to reinvent the wheel in order to start a successful business. We can build safe harbor businesses by filling gaps within existing mainstream businesses. Strategic alliances linked to a major company are examples of safe harbor business opportunities. Most major corporations believe it is cheaper to contract with an outside company to perform some functions than to bear the in-house production expense. For example, some major manufacturers find it cheaper to supply their customers with components and parts rather than a totally assembled piece of merchandise. Putting those parts into a kit is an example of a process that a business might contract out or enter into a strategic alliance with a smaller business to perform. This form of assembling is called kittling. Now, it's called kitting. Kittling is the wood. Kitting, K-I-T-T-I-N-G. Large corporations like Ford Motor Company, IBM, and Lucent Technologies award contracts to firms that do nothing but kit various kinds of merchandise, a variety of their merchandise. A kitting company would need logistical software, large open assembling space and tables, and a labor force. Like I think I worked for like a kitting company before, and they moved us around every 30 minutes to a different job at a different machine, learning all them skills and still made that one base wage. It was an hourly job and stuff. But at one of them, you might be working on the cups. On the other one, you might be working on the lids. On the other one, you might be working on the cups and the lid together as one. At the end, you might be putting them in the boxes or what have you and stuff like that. That would have been like the kitting that he's talking about. The assembly is called kitting. Large corporations, and this was I think it was like a paper goods or something like that. Other good business opportunities exist simply because in every industry, there are production and product gaps. For instance, a textile company would rather buy buttons than to produce them in-house. A person could operate a business producing and marketing buttons if he or she could get enough textile manufacturers to produce the buttons. No business, regardless of size, can cover every single aspect of the business. So the company elects to leave the production gap in place and subcontract with a smaller firm to provide the service or the product to fill the gap. In both strategic alliances and contract opportunities, vertical integration occurs within a plan itself and then links to support services and suppliers. Black people should seek strategic alliances and contract opportunities with companies that produce products of which Black people are disproportionate consumers, such as long-distance telephone service, sports and recreational equipment, apparel, new and used cars and trucks, and food and hair. Every company that receives a sizable portion of its profit from Black consumers should be expected to enter into contracts or strategic alliances with Black-owned companies located in Black communities. The conclusion. You have now finished the how-to industrialized chapter. Congratulations. In this chapter, we learned the important role that industrialization played in wealth building, and we learned how laws and public policies prohibited Black people from participating in or benefiting from the various industrial revolutions. In order to catch up and compete in the developing technological economies, we must make industrializing Black communities a group priority. We need industries to develop and give our own technological base. We discussed a number of ways in which Black America can industrialize based on competitive advantages. To give the reader a jump start in building Black industries, we suggested different kinds of industries that could be built around POWERNOMICS principles and the empowerment tools of vertical integration and ethno-aggregation. This part of the POWERNOMICS plan requires special leadership to focus on the POWERNOMICS empowerment goals. It is beyond the scope of this chapter or this book to develop detailed business plans. However, the POWERNOMICS Enterprise Corporation has gone further and actually started developing vertical industries. The POWERNOMICS Enterprise Corporation has begun to build a vertically integrated seafood industry. All right, a vertically integrated seafood industry. I don't eat seafood, but maybe a little fish here and there. Every blue moon, I might have a shrimp, the bottom feeder, but I don't like to. But yeah, a whole lot of y'all like the seafood boils and stuff. I ain't even gonna say nothing about that because I want to say, you better be particular of your seafood boils and stuff, your seafood period with all the radiation in the oceans, in the water, the ocean waves and stuff, Oh, we made it to chapter 7. Yeah, we'll wait for tomorrow with chapter 7 because I won't finish all of it today. Oh, I might have to come on early tomorrow and finish chapter 7. Well, if I don't talk at all, maybe I can finish this tomorrow. In an hour and a half, we'll say 2 hours. Yeah, so we'll start there tomorrow with chapter 7, practicing group politics. Transform weakness into power by getting other people, other Black people, to play with cards that your group deals. Transform weakness into power by getting others to play with cards that your group deals. All getting other groups of people to play with the cards that our group deals. Oh, wait. Yeah, we're going to start there tomorrow. Politics is about power. Politics is relatively new. The word and concept first appeared in English around 1529 with the beginning of Black enslavement and the early stages of industrialism. The term politics was borrowed from an old French word, politique, and it emerged from the struggle to control the increased spoils of power and wealth produced by Black slavery. Ain't that some shit? And I had started chapter 7. Yeah, I always start from the beginning of the book. Yeah, I forgot who that was told me, Face, don't read the back. Start from the beginning of the book so you can understand, what the book is about in its whole. But yeah, we'll start there tomorrow. Thank you so much. I thank you for being here and your patience. Like I always like to say, I know I ain't no fluid reader and stuff like that. I know it take me a minute, but I thank you. I thank you for being here and for giving me the time to at least try this. Good day, Sensei. It's so good to see you, Aya. Look at you. I ain't seen you in forever. It's so good to see you, my sister. Everybody, thank you so much. Good day to y'all. You're correct. All the oceans are contaminated. I will only eat deep ocean cold water cod, but I don't eat much seafood either. Now I don't know what to eat now. I don't know. I don't even go grocery shopping like we go grocery shopping. Because I'm in the middle of, seriously, after some years now, I'm still struggling with meat, but I don't go grocery shopping anymore because I'm in the middle of turning my refrigerator into a garden. I only want garden fresh foods in my refrigerator. I don't want no meat in my refrigerator. And I've been like this for maybe 9 months, almost a whole year, I think, because in the last place, Oh no, maybe like 2 years, 2.5 years. Because in the last place, I didn't really grocery shop like that. Going to the grocery store and stuff. And it just started off really small when I would go into the grocery store instead of going through the meat first, which is how we do. You go through the meat first. I would go through the vegetables and the fruits first, and then I would end up in the meat. And by then and stuff, I was getting less and less and less meat and stuff because it's not my preference anymore. So, yeah, I just want to have meat. Oh, yes. I'll show you my garden tomorrow. Maybe we'll go out and I'll show you the garden and stuff. Ooh, since you brought it up, I got to bring one of them in. It finally took off. It's been really slow because I don't get a lot of sunlight. However, let me get carrot. And this is carrot. It was taller, but I was watering them and giving them a little fertilizer this morning, and I bent the top off, so I just went ahead and pinched it off. But these are carrots right here. I don't know if I'm going to have 2 or 12. Might be 22. But I know I'm gonna stir fry them. But tomorrow, yeah, I will be happy to show y'all my garden because I'm finally seeing some fruition. I'm finally seeing. I do have to get me some. I do need to get me some grow lights because I don't get enough sunlight out here. And once I'm in Minnesota, it's gonna start getting cold in about another month or two, and I'll be moving everything inside my apartment. And I got a designated space right back there in my kitchen where I'm gonna have everything. But I need to get me some grow lights so that I can still grow on the inside also. And yeah, it's new to me. It is new to me, and I wish I had paid attention to my grandmother and my great aunts and stuff when they were doing this thing, but I always was reading. I didn't get any lessons that was being taught. I back and fry you some good ass chicken, but I don't eat chicken no more, so you won't get no chicken here. But everything else is always in a book. Yeah, it's easier for me to I can read until it's time to clean, and I clean very thorough and very fast. So yeah, but it's good. Put a potato in a jar and set it up on the windowsill, and you have your potatoes. And when the time is right, just put it in some soil. Put it in some soil and grow your potatoes. That's going to be my next thing. I want to get me some potatoes growing. I don't have potatoes growing. I got garlic, ginger, carrots. I got some arugula because I'm trying to plant more in my garden that don't need a lot of sunlight. I got okra out there and cucumbers, and they need like 6 to 8 hours of sunlight, direct sunlight, I believe, or a lot more than I'm getting on this side of the building. So they really they ain't really good like they should be, in my opinion. But maybe they doing okay. We'll see tomorrow. Yeah, we'll just go over them and stuff, and I can let you know how I'm doing it and stuff and what I'm using. Just regular I started out with seeding, and then I have some perlite and some casting, some earth casting for my plant food. And then I got some flower and vegetables, just some regular fertilizer and stuff. And then I got that earth casting too. I like to use that also on them. And so just to try to feed me, because I don't want to be, having to go to my family and stuff. I need something to eat. Yeah, let me get this, and this. And they mostly going to have meat anyway, So I just taking it upon myself to start my own garden, grow my own food. It don't take much for me. It do not take much for me to eat. Fasting is very good anyway. I'm doing a lot of fasting now. I look at it like it's fasting because I ain't eating. So yeah, I'm still on my breakfast because I haven't eaten anything yet. And yeah, but it's just all part of learning and stuff. And I thank y'all so much because if it wasn't for y'all, I wouldn't even be here reading or even trying to get my own garden up and stuff. Oh, and I just want to say before I go and stuff, go to some food shelves. You got food shelves around you, go to them food shelves, start going to them thrift stores and stuff and getting you little stuff that you're going to need. I think I put everything back up and stuff to be prepping with, whether it's a blackout, whether the water shortage, whether we run out of food and stuff. So you'll have your little prepping going and stuff, and you'll be able to maintain your stuff. You'll even be able to barter it. You'll even be able to barter. Honey, I'm going to barter some carrots. Yep. Give me a couple of them beets and radishes you got there. I'll give you some of my carrots. I'm just saying, you know, yeah, I probably can't give you much, but I can give you a 4-ingredient stir fry. You know, little stuff like that and stuff. And get your bicycle. As soon as I see a bicycle, I'm getting it. I'm getting it. As soon as I see a bicycle, I'm getting it. I want a particular kind of bike, but yeah, that's neither here nor there. The first bike I see, and I know I can get on it and ride it, I'm going to get it. Because when things get really hectic and you got to go somewhere, you want to be able to get on your bicycle. Lead Farmer told us, Lead Farmer 73 told us to get them 5-gallon buckets and start prepping them with stuff. So if you need, you know, when it gets down and out and you ain't got nothing to eat, go to your bucket and get you some of your little non-perishables that you done put in your bucket and stuff. We'll go over that tomorrow too, also and stuff. But yeah, just little things like that. Remain encouraged. And I'm just so glad that our people are telling us these things, because I wouldn't have known. I didn't know about none of this other stuff. So, but now that I do know, I just want us to be okay, because we truly not okay out here. We are not okay out here. People know some things that we don't know, that we haven't thought about, and they're not telling us, Black America. So we got to do it ourselves. We got to tell us ourselves. And I'm not lying to you. I'm not trying to fearmonger you, you know, which is what a lot of people say and stuff. You know, I just want you to be aware. I don't want to worry you. I don't want to worry myself. But I want us to be aware. Just be aware and notice what's going on so we can prepare for it and stuff. If you got your own land, your own house that you done bought, get you a permit and get somebody to scope out your backyard for you and see where it's the proper place to dig. And honey, gut out one of your vehicles. Take out the seats, the steering wheels, take the hood and the trunk off of that motherfucker. Everything out. And go ahead and begin building your own bunker for you and your babies. You might ain't got nothing but a little Toyota. I don't know. You can take the wheels off of it if you want to or not. It's up to you. Put some stuff under your vehicle that you're going to need, that you want to have for your future babies, your future generations and stuff. It might be your personables, things that's really significant, you know, in your life, the family and stuff, your treasures and stuff like that. I would put my books would be wrapped in tarp. Honey, my books would be wrapped in tarp and would be under my car. Sure would, honey. And when the shit hit the fan, whether it's a missile or a meteor, honey, you and your babies can go right down to that bunker. You can go to your own bunker, because we ain't got no bunker. America, the world is fucking blowing up, catching on fire, falling open, cracking open, and we ain't got no resources that we may need. You know, now this bunker, you ain't just gonna push your car off in there and go get in the car. Now you gonna have to fit it. You're gonna have to fit it and stuff, and drill you some big holes so you can run some huge pipes up through the soil for ventilation, because you're gonna need to breathe. You're gonna need to breathe. Don't have it just sticking out in the opening, because you know somebody gonna be mad and they gonna come and stick a banana in your pipe. Then ain't nobody gonna be getting no fresh air. We're gonna have to do stuff like that. Yeah, we're gonna have to do stuff like that. Did I look at what I finally found it, and I made another one. This right here. If you got to get somewhere on your bicycle, you know, and you ain't got nothing but this little cone that you done made right here in your back pocket, in your purse, and you come along a little stream or something, you can pour that water. You can pour that water off in this right here, and it'll be like a little filter. Now, it will not filter out pesticides and chemicals and stuff like that, but it'll make it a little drinking where you can take at least a little sip or two on your way. And at the bottom, you're going to have twigs, then some gravel, then sand, then charcoal, then some more sand. Then you're going to have pebbles at the top. And you just pour the water off in there, and it'll filter your water out and stuff. Just some dirt, bugs, twigs, grime, stuff like that, whatever. But pesticides and chemicals, it won't do that. We're going to have to really get, you know, sophisticated to get something like that. Maybe a hydroponic system like we were reading about for your garden on the inside. I would love to have a hydroponic system in here. But, you know, have a water system for drinking water also. It's going to have to run with electricity and without electricity. Maybe some type of solar. I don't know. You know, I'm just thinking about it. And the rest of these things right here, just some homemade deodorant, homemade toothpaste, because I like to make my own stuff now. homemade dish trap for your little flies and stuff like that. Because when I move things in here, I be having little gnats flying around them and stuff. And I even made me a gnat spray that I can spray on the soil for when I bring them in the house and stuff. But I found that and I wanted to just show y'all and stuff because we all gotta, at least encourage each other on some level. Now I know some people that's got more and doing more and it's already fixed and together. Like, no, that ain't gonna work. But it make me feel good to be doing something for myself, to becoming self-sustaining. So I'm just gonna keep going. Yeah. Thank you so much. And I'll see you all tonight. We will finish reading tonight. Well, we're gonna continue reading tonight. Stamp from the beginning. We're gonna be there for a while. So I'm gonna try not to miss any nights on this read. But yeah, I love you to life and afterlife.